listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries, as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Simon Polito is in the house. Welcome.
Good morning, Ron. How are you?
Wonderful. Back from Cabo to chat with us.
I am.
Well, I feel honored. It's back. You flew all this way just to talk about
Just for you, my friend. Just for you.
Yeah, well, something. Hey, it's a great place to be. It is. Let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me. First, there are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. Ron Siegel Radio celebrates every day. Some days are better than others. Now, this one's going to tie right into our opening commentary this morning, because today is National Get Over It Day. National Get Over It Day. So I'm going to get back to that one in just a minute. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this one any longer, but it's still allowed. Today's National Barbie Day. Can you have I know you can't have Mr. Potato Head, but can you have Barbie? I digress. Having beaten anorexia, though, there's two options for us today. I'll accept both. Today's National Meatball Day. Where are you getting good meatballs at? And National Crab Meat Day. Real crab meat, not the artificial stuff, please. But both of those are good options. I like both of those, so we'll stick with them. Hey, let's see what the markets are doing today. They're coming back down a little bit. So we were watching earlier today, the Dow Jones was way up. Now we're up a moderate 295 points. The S&P 500 up 74. NASDAQ up 456 points. After the amount they've been down recently, you can understand those going up. Oil down 69 cents per barrel. Yes, I'll tell you about it. I know you probably don't want to know. You're probably tired of hearing this. But the cost of a gallon of gasoline now, $2.44. Not in Calizuela. That would be Mississippi. $3.50 a gallon. That would not be Calizuela either. You got to go to Hawaii for that. Calizuela, we're lucky enough. Hey, we get to spend $3.75 a gallon. Ow! Yeah, and that'll probably go up even more. The national average for a gallon of gasoline, about $1 less, $2.77. But hey, let's keep on voting for people that want to raise our taxes, raise our fees. That's kind of what we like to do here. So I shared with you a little bit ago that today is National Get Over It Day. And I must admit, I got over it. I was not capable of watching that Oprah Winfrey interview. I just couldn't do it. I know 17 million people around the country watched the interview. Now, here's the thing. Oprah Winfrey, I give her credit for all the things that she has done, amazing things. But when you think about this concept, we had this interview talking about all the hardship of being part of the royal family. So if you look at a picture, and I will probably share one on the social medias, not on Twitter because I'm no longer there, but I'll share a picture that I have here that I think I have it, that basically it's a great photo. So we've got Oprah sitting socially distanced on one side of the mega mansion, and you've got Harry and Meghan not socially distanced, sitting next to each other on the other side of this couch at the mega mansion, talking about racism and oppression. Now, Oprah, I think, went from modest means to being a billionaire. Meghan Markle, modest means to millionaire. And Harry, he just was Harry. Right? But you think about this concept. They're complaining about being oppressed, going from modest to billionaire. I wonder what other country could that happen in China or Russia or Africa or Mexico? Well, Mexico you could because you have to pay off the right people. But Mexico, El Salvador, think about this. Only in America does that happen. But only in America do you have people that are, have these silver spoons. They did that interview at Montecito, right? The house probably cost more than you and I are going to ever see in our lifetime. Simon sees these mansions all the time and auctions them off or something. But we'll talk about that later. But think about this. They're doing this interview, probably an 8-figure home, if not 9 figures, but an 8-figure home, talking about how oppressed they are. If I had a crying button on my board here, I would probably put that on there, but we'll just
a bad feeling about this.
Unbelievable, right? I mean, it just amazes me how you get some people that are out there. That's their world right now. Moving right along. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, the trial was supposed to start yesterday for the Minneapolis police officer. They're doing it right there in Minneapolis. Does anybody think he's going to get a fair trial without having changed jurisdictions? I just throw that out there. President Biden created a gender policy council. Now, did you watch the press? Well, it wasn't a press conference. I guess it was a mini speech from President Biden yesterday. Not sure that he knew where he was, what he was saying. It is a shame. I've shared with you publicly before. My dad died having dementia, Alzheimer's, cognitive disorders, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, we told you this before the election. We can tell you now it's unfortunate, but it's what it is, right? I mean, you've got the leader of the free world that has trouble speaking from a teleprompter. No less than not having a press conference. I don't think he'll ever have a press conference during his entire tenure. Moving right along. Hey, Louis Farrakhan, leader of the Nation of Islam. Look at this one. Now, he's still on Twitter. He's still on Facebook, but he's out there telling people the COVID vaccine is just propaganda. And he doesn't even get anything on, there's not even a flagging on Twitter. I put a joke up on Twitter, right? I mean, I put a picture up, not on Twitter anymore, but on social media, showing the people that President Trump killed. And I wish I could show this to you on the screen right now, but Soleimani and the other terrorist, and a picture that President Biden, Mr. Potato Head, and Dr. Seuss, right? And I get a big warning across mine that says, missing context. It's a joke, people. It's a joke. Really? Come on, get with it. Might not be a good joke, but it was a joke. Chaos at Buckingham Palace. No, not because of Harry and Meghan, but they've got some chaos there. So the Queen had to get a couple of new corgis. It is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
Can you imagine watching the Queen walking around Buckingham Palace with a couple of new corgis? Maybe she has someone else doing that for her. I move right along. Let's see what else is going on in the world today. Yeah, I see another picture there of Harry and Meghan and school teachers. Hey, word of the wise, I've got a breaking news here on this one. This just out for Los Angeles Unified School District teachers. When you go on spring break, if you go to Cabo, don't share pictures. The union wants it to be known that you're not safe going out. You can't go back to work. Don't share any pictures when you're on that trip in Cabo. They're after you. Be careful. Moving right along. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Oh, the Queen got 2 new dogs. Right? I just told you about that one. But did you see this story? I haven't seen it in any other newscast. Ron Siegel Radio. First, we've got this one for you. We give you all kinds of breaking news right here. So, President Biden had to send his dog Champ. Was banned from the White House. I don't know if it was what do they call it? An whatever, trying to take over the White House, whatever they called it with the chaos on January 6th. I don't even remember the name. Not trying to be rude about it. I just don't remember it. Maybe I got a cognitive issue. Right. But Champ has been banned from the White House for biting staffers. So the president had to send his 2 dogs back to Delaware so they can bite somebody there and not bite anybody at the White House. I don't make this stuff up. I just share it with you. You can't make this stuff up. Could anybody make this up? I just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, hey, I just heard about Brea, California, house sold over asking price, but people were shut out on the offers. I wonder why that is. Well, we're going to talk about the solution to that. How upset should you be about a 3% mortgage rate? We're going to talk about mortgage rates, short, medium, and long term. And that featured home brought to you by myfavouritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. No longer on Twitter at Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1890. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. Remember, strategy beats rate always. What's happening in the markets today? The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 332 points. That's a good one to see. NASDAQ up 459 points. The S&P 500 up 72.71. 10-year Treasury, that's down 4 basis points. The yield is 1.55. And the mortgage-backed security, that's up 19 basis points, which means interest rates are a little bit lower. And all of that information can be found on the super secret website, google.com. The thing you're not going to find on that super secret website is why is this happening? Well, House announced that they are going to, I should have put the breaking news on there, but I'm not going to do that. House announced they're going to vote on the bailout or the giveaway package tomorrow. Raise your tax. Hey, how do you like this one? You're going to get a check for $1,400, some of you, and you're going to get $5,700 further in debt. Does that make sense to anybody? Can we shake our heads together on that one? But it makes sense to somebody. Yeah. Oh, shut those guys up. Get them out of the studio, please. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let's see. What else is that happening? National Federation of Independent Business, Small Business Optimism Index increased 0.8 points in February to 95.8. Well, we're going to get $1 billion or $1 trillion worth of money coming out that's going to just wasting money. But they're going to go somewhere, right? So that's going to increase the business optimism. Raised prices rose 8 points to 25%, which is the highest since August 2008. Positions not able to fill jumped 7 points to 40%. Why would anybody want to go to work if they keep getting paid to stay home? No one pays me to stay home. CoreLogic reported their loan performance insights for the month of December, showing that 5.8% of mortgages were 30 days or more delinquent, down from 5.9% last month. Loans 60 to 89 days past due dropped from 0.6% to 0.5%. Loans that are seriously delinquent or 90 days or more remain stable at 3.9%. Homes in foreclosure remain stable and very low at 0.3%. So I'm going to share this with you quickly because I want to chat with our guest today. What's happening with interest rates? Well, short term, I just told you rates are going down. So short term, we're going to get a little bit of a bounce, a little better pricing on interest rates. In the middle term, right? I told you interest rate inflation, May and June, you're going to probably see 2.5% year over year because we were at a negative before, right? So it doesn't mean you have to have a good inflation rate, but because you went from negative to positive, you go positive 2 based on a negative half. Now you're at 2.5 increase year over year. So that's going to be detrimental to interest rates. So in the midterm, I'm going to say interest rates won't be as strong. Inflation means bad for bonds. Well, then we're going to start going back the other way because people are going to say, well, there's too much inflation. And they might have to raise rates, right? So that's going to be, we'll look at better rates probably at the end of the year. Just my concept. We'll give you more information on that. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. So I was just sitting, I shouldn't tell you where I was sitting, but I was sitting this morning and doing some research for the broadcast. I do research in all sorts of places. And I came across this post on Facebook. And it basically was talking about a very, very successful realtor in North Orange County, been out here for ages and ages, representing a buyer. And the comment says, wrote another phenomenal offer on another agent's listing, non-contingent and over asking price. And yet again, another agent not even countering, just accepting some other offer. Wonder how much money that cost that agent's clients. I wonder why that might have happened. But more important than all of that, because I don't know who the other agent was, I don't know who the seller was. They should have called me at Ron Siegel Radio. But there is a solution. And our guest, and you know something, I was very, very skeptical when I heard about Simon Polito and non-distressed luxury auctions. Yeah. And, you know, I think probably a lot of people can be, you wonder about it in a time like this when you put a piece of property out. I had one agent just recently said, I sent her some marketing material for her property. She said, thanks, Ron, it's already sold.
Yeah.
Right. So people think that, you know, you just put a sign out there and it's sold and no big deal. But Simon, how do you maximize the sale price?
And that is happening in this marketplace. But what we're doing is allowing the market to play. And that in turn is giving a better return for our seller because it's pushing the price up in somewhat of a bidding war.
Sure.
And that's how we obviously get the price up, by having an auction, a live auction, and allowing everyone to play by giving them a paddle. And that's ultimately allowing them to push the price up.
Wait a second, Simon, you better explain this because letting them play, giving them a paddle, and I don't even want to go there, man.
Wrong radio station. Sorry.
There's some images here. This is not the Tom Leykis show.
No, sorry.
I wish we had that audience. Okay, so explain this to us, Simon.
So basically what it is we would show the property several times prior to holding a live auction live on site. And by doing that, it allows people to come through, do their research, look at the property, check out anything they want to do. We do all the due diligence ahead of time. So your home inspection, termite report, seller's disclosures, NHD, prelim, any other HOA docs or any material facts like permits. We have all that up front. And that allows the buyer then to do a non-contingent offer before auction to try and stop the proceedings, or bring a cashier's check with them on auction day for 3% of the bidding to start from. That gives them a paddle, and that allows them to dictate where the true value is.
That's a fascinating concept. So 3%. So you know, hypothetically, a $300,000 starting bid. So they're going to bring a $9,000 check, cashier's check.
Made out to the escrow that the listing agent nominates.
Okay.
It's cleared funds. They're playing for keeps. What that means is as soon as we conclude the auction, gavel goes down, sold, we immediately go to signing contracts and we open escrow.
How long are the escrows in?
On average, 25 to 30 days.
25, 30 days.
Yeah.
So on the property, and neither one of us know this property that I just read that Facebook post on. So what would have happened in a process like that?
In that instance, what we would have done, if that was prior to auction, we would have gone back with several options to the seller. We could either, one, accept an offer. Two, we could have done a seller's multiple counter calling for highest and best. Or we could have done a third option, which is just decline all of them, encourage them to register for auction and play on the day. And that depends on where the offers are coming in. If we're getting a great range and there's one that's a standout, well, we're not going to be foolish about it. The seller may take that offer prior to. But if we've got several people in the same realm, well, it's only going to be the best decision to go to auction and let them compete for it and fight.
So when you were on last time, we were talking about a property that you had mentioned was going to go to auction. I don't know if I'm giving out confidential information. Don't just holler at me. I guess it'll be public eventually. But we spoke about a property, South Orange County, that I think was the opening bid was going to be $300,000.
Correct. I can say it was a public auction, so it's public knowledge now. So even though it hasn't closed, because it was a public auction, we can disclose the price.
Okay.
So we started the bidding at $300,000.
And how many people were involved in that bidding?
We had 7 registered.
Okay.
We had probably a good dozen offers prior to auction.
Okay.
And the seller at that point was moving to Texas, very trusting in the process, and said, you know what, let's just go to auction and see what happens.
Now, initially, what did they want to sell that property? What were they going to list that property for?
They were going to list it at $382,000.
$382,000. And
that was the last comp. Was that?
No, it was $382,000 was the last comp. And the starting bid that you did was what?
$300,000.
$300,000 starting bid.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us the three options that could happen once they engaged your services.
Yeah, so when they engage our services, after the first showing, we typically get several offers received.
Okay, so you can have offers, right? Immediate offers is one option.
Correct. The other one is we decline all the offers and just give them directions to go to auction.
Okay, so you could decline all of those early offers.
Or then we just don't sell at all, and that's their choice.
And you can go to auction.
Yeah.
And what happens because we're going to talk about what happened at the auction, but what I want to find out, what if that property that they initially wanted to list at 382 and your counsel and your process opening offers were 300? What happens if no one was there and they just wanted to, you got one person showed up and said, I'll give you the 300?
And that happens. It does happen. And that's when
Southern California might have rained, right?
Yeah, it does. Last week it did. But yeah, what happens in that instance, we would go back to that buyer and say, look, it's not going to sell for where we're starting. The great news is we've got no competition for you today except for yourself. You're going to need to either sharpen your pencil or you're going to be back competing with everyone again on Monday. What would you like to do?
Great. So we've got a protection or safety net for the seller.
Correct.
Now, when we come back, we're going to talk to Simon about what actually happened with this property. I think you might like what you hear, but you're going to have to come back and listen to Ron Siegel Radio discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We're going to also chat a little bit about that featured home that we've got for you from myfavoritelender.net. And we've also got a couple other topics to give to you as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. No longer on Twitter at Ron Siegel. But if you miss any part of our broadcast, you can catch it again, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there's an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. So let's take a look and see what they've got for us today. Interest rates. I think you should be upset about them being at 3%. Last Thursday, Freddie Mac announced their 30-year fixed-rate mortgage rate was over 3%, 3.02 for the first time since last July. That news dominated real estate headlines that day and the next. Articles talked about the negative impact it may have on the housing market. However, we should realize a couple of things. The bump up in rates should not have surprised anyone. Many had already projected the rates would rise slightly, especially if you're a listener of Ron Siegel Radio. Freddie Mac's comments about the rate increase were not alarming. Quote, the rise in mortgage rates over the next couple of months is likely to be more muted in comparison to the last few weeks, and we expect a strong spring sales season, unquote. As quote-unquote muted rise in rates will not sink the real estate market, and most experts agree that it will be a, quote, strong real spring sales season. So what's this mean for you? Obviously, any buyer would rather rates not rise at all, as any upward movement increases their monthly mortgage payment. However, let's put a 3.02% rate into perspective. Freddie Mac annual mortgage rates for the last 5 years. 2016, again, these are the annual mortgage rates. 3.65, 2017, 3.99, 2018, 4.54, 2019, 3.94, 2020, 3.11. So that 3.02, not great as the sub 3% rates we saw over the previous 7 weeks. Still very close to all-time low of 2.66. And if we expand our look at mortgage rates to consider the last 50 years, I'm not going to tell you all 50 years, no. 1970s, 8.86. 1980s, 12.7. That's when I bought my first house. Ow! 1990s, 8.12. 2000, 6.29. 2010, 4.09. So being upset that you missed the best mortgage rates ever, well, it's understandable. We told you to take action. It's kind of like when we talked to Simon, right? You got to take action when the opportunity is there. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Buying still makes more sense than waiting, especially if rates continue to bump up this year. Bottom line, it's true that you may not get the same rate you would have 5 weeks ago. However, you will get a better rate than what was possible at almost any other point in history. Let's chat about it. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. So let's go to reset. Simon Polito is in the house with us. We've got contact information for him running across the bottom of the screen. So if you want to meet him, just give me a call at 800-306-1990. So before the break, we were chatting with Simon about a auction that he did just recently. And he actually shared the preliminary information with us on Ron Siegel Radio when he was in last time. And we talked about the idea that this property was going to have a starting bid, $300,000. And I have people all the time tell me, there's no such thing as a $300,000 property in Orange County. Well, starting bid here, $300,000. The owners were contemplating listing at $382,000. Simon told us in the last segment what happens if he doesn't get a good price. We're not going to repeat that. Go back and listen. It'll be on the archives this afternoon or Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube later today as well. So, Simon, let's chat about what happened at this auction.
Yeah, I mean, it was fierce bidding. We started the bidding at $300,000 and I'm a very different auctioneer to most. I don't have set increments. I go with the market. And I knew there was a lot of people who were going to be there that were going to tip out at the mid threes. So I did something I don't normally do, which is I let them give a small bid early on because I wanted them to have a chance to play. And that's really important when it comes to auctioning, especially when it's a newer concept to the United States.
Sure.
So we started the bidding.
You're not from the United States.
No. This accent on for the radio show.
We'll tell a little bit by the accent. Maybe this wasn't.
Yeah, a little bit just over that ocean where you live.
Oh,
you just keep swimming a little bit further, and you'll end up where I'm
I
from.
go out and swim a little. I get it.
But yeah, so we started the bidding low, and it went up. It actually took about half an hour to 40 minutes to get to the end result because we were going in very small increments, but everyone had a chance to play. And can I share with you what we sold it for?
Well, so when you say everyone started to play, what does that mean?
So normally you have most auctioneers will set the increments at $10,000 rises.
Okay.
So if you're starting at $300,000 looking for a rise of $10,000, we get 310, 320, 330, 340. Well, you get 4 bids, you've already knocked out half the people that were there bidding.
Sure.
So I wanted them to have a chance to play. So I took a couple of $1,000 bids in between.
Okay.
It didn't mean I had to stop other people from doing larger increments.
Sure.
And I use that. So if someone puts a $1,000 down, but you're playing a $5,000 card, well, sir, it looks like you're in for the money. He looks like he's slowing up. He says, your time to pounce, give me another $5,000. It looks like it could be yours. So that's, it's all about letting people have the feeling that they're going to snag that property.
Sure.
So we went up and down in smaller, larger increments, and then it stopped at around 385, 387, something like that. We got to the 390, and then we actually got the bidder to increase on his own bid. He was the top bidder at 390,000. And he had told us before he was happy to go above that figure.
Wow.
But he knew there was no one else at that time that was going to bid against him. So we did a bit of a different style of negotiating in open public in front of everyone. And this is what makes people perform, is the pressure of people watching. So I went up to him and I said, look, you've got to increase on your bid. Otherwise, we're not going to have a deal today. So I got him to increase up to $410,000.
410. So that's $28,000 over what they were going to list for. And I'm a simple guy, so I'm not going to get exact, but it's about 10% more.
Correct.
Than what they were originally contemplating.
And it turned out that our sellers, had just bought a property in Texas and spent 10% more than what they wanted to. So this actually allowed them to go into their next step without stress of overspending. So they were overwhelmed and seriously just so appreciative for the opportunity to get more money because they were happy with 382.
So what is the due diligence that your firm, you talked about in the last segment, all of the due diligence you do on the property.
Yes.
What is the due diligence that you're doing on the buyers to make sure that they can perform?
So it can go two ways because obviously they may have their own agent. So it's their agent's job to obviously vet their client and they have to understand their responsibilities. But we'll ask to confirm, what are you pre-approved to, or do you have your financing ready? Are you underwritten? Where are you at with your stage of lending? And then, have you had a chance to review all the disclosures and reports that we've had available to you? Do you know what you're buying? Because you understand you're playing for keeps. As soon as I say sold and the gavel goes down, there's no pulling out. You would forfeit your deposit.
So that's the recourse. So if this guy is at 410 and he can't perform, he's got that $9,000 that you mentioned.
Correct.
3%, because it could be different. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But so he could lose that $9,000.
He's prepared to walk away from that.
If he
not
doesn't
be able to fulfill his duties.
Gotcha. So it's what if it doesn't appraise?
It'll always appraise.
Why?
In 20 years of doing this, touch wood, I don't want to jinx myself, but market value. So if it sells at a public auction, it's deemed as market value. That's why a lot of banks and foreclosure companies will do that, because it allows them to take a step back from being biased or controlling the market or dictating what the value is. It's what the market was prepared to bear on that time at that time.
So does the appraisal then have a notation in there when the appraiser does his job? Does he note that this was sold at a public auction?
We let them know. Absolutely. We let them know how many bidders there were. We're not trying to steer them or we're trying to feed them information to give them the confidence in the price, right?
Gotcha.
So we had 7 bidders. It was fierce. It was competitive. We had an underbidder at X. We had another underbidder at Y. And, it's going to fall back here again. Should you not be able to get it there, it's going to be here. This is where the value is. The market has shown us where the value is in this marketplace.
So you did this for Orange County. I mean, obviously, we know Orange County, the median home price in Orange County is $829,000 right now. A little different than the national numbers. But $829,000 is the median home price. Will this work on a higher priced home? I mean, this sold at half the median.
Well, a couple of hours prior to that auction, we called another one in Irvine.
Okay. And was it higher than this?
It started the bidding at 1.388.
1.388. When we come back, we're going to get some information from Simon on where did I'm going to call it 1.4 because I'm a simple guy. All right, where did a $1.4 million property in Irvine, California, where did they auction that? What was the final auction price on that one? We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We'll also get into the featured home today, brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our offer number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. No longer on Twitter at Ron Siegel. But if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL BRE number 018694552.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations and MLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Who's got the featured home? Where can we find it? Let's see if it'll show up right there on the screen. If you're watching any of our social media channels or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 KMET video feed. Aha, there it is. I think it's coming right up to us right now. There, I think I got it. Here it comes. Yeah, it's 214 North Yale Avenue, Fullerton 92831. Yeah, let's see. The typing on this is pretty small today, guys. How am I supposed to read all this information about this property when it's I'm old. Okay, it's an adorable craftsman duplex located walking distance to downtown Fullerton. You'll love the investment property. First unit, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with upgraded kitchen that has stainless steel appliances, beautiful cabinetry, and granite original hardwood floors. 2-bedroom downstairs and a very large bedroom upstairs with its own ductless air conditioning. Second unit is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The unit has 1 bedroom downstairs, 2 bedrooms upstairs. New windows throughout the majority of the property. Main pipes have been replaced. Electrical updated from knob and tube. I wonder what that means. I don't know how to use a screwdriver, so that doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Price is right, $1,000,001. Marcy Thomas has this property. Marcy Thomas, nice little place. Hey, let's look at some financing options. 30 years, 10% down. We're looking at $49.42 a month. Interesting there. We're looking at $43.93 a month with 20% down, and $35.90 would be our price monthly principal and interest with 25% down strategically. Now, let's look and see what the scorecard says, because for those of you keeping score, we have to talk about this. 4.617, 4.442, 4.2423, and 3.458. I'm not an auctioneer. I can't speak that quickly. All right, those are the APRs for those of you keeping score. NMLS 217037. All that can be yours. Again, Marcy Thomas has the listing. That's the featured home, brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. So let's get back to our conversation. Simon Polito is in the house, RECA, name of his company. So we've talked about a modestly priced home, because in Orange County, you can't say anything is cheap, right? I mean, property that was starting bid $300,000, he sold it for $410,000. Yeah, you heard me right. Starting bid $300,000, he sold it for $410,000. We gave you all the details of it. We talked about it in depth in the last couple of segments. If you missed it, shame on you. But at the end of the last segment, I was asking Simon, what happens on higher priced properties, bigger properties or more valuable properties? Does this concept of auctioning work? And we started talking about a property, Irvine, California. $1.388 was the price of it, $1,388,000. That was the starting offer. That was the starting bid.
Yes.
Okay. And do you know what the sellers had contemplated selling at before?
So the seller was not sure, because he'd been the original owner from day one for the last 30 years. So we knew it was going to be the high ones. We didn't know where it would possibly go. Nothing in that tract had sold over 1.7 prior. But he had one of the best ones in the street at the end of the cul-de-sac backing onto the school. So it was a very unique opportunity that was not very easy to comp, because all the other ones back onto a busier road.
Okay.
So this is why we went with the auction. We honestly didn't know where it was going to end up, given its uniqueness, and that it hadn't been on the market for over 30, ever. Never been on the market.
Okay.
So that's why we said, look, let's start the bidding at 1.388 and open it up, and let's see what kind of response we get. So he was always at the mid to high ones, was sort of his anticipation as to where it would go, but we all didn't know exactly where. Okay.
So you start there at 1.388. A lot of people in house?
We only had 2 bidders in there on the day, actually.
Wow, 2 bidders.
We had a good 11 offers prior. Some couldn't wait for the auction, went and bought something else. Some fell out, which is absolutely normal. And then the 2 that did turn up on the day were there to play.
What was the highest bid of the, and I don't know if you can even tell us this, highest offer pre-auction.
I can't say the exact number, but it was circa between 1.7 and 1.8.
Okay, 1.7 to 1.8. So that was pretty much what you guys were kind of thinking.
So we honestly thought, you know what, we're in the realm.
Right.
We're in the realm here. Let's, and the seller made the decision by, again, trusting in the process. He said, look, you know what, let's see what the auction brings.
Okay, let's hear it.
And the two bidders that turned up both said to us, our max is 1.8.
Okay, so bidders are going to max out at 1.8 is what they said. But they're negotiating, right? So does that really mean anything?
And that's the greatest thing about auction. When you're in that heat of the moment, my job's to extrapolate every dollar I can. So I'm going to make you aware of the value and why you're going to do that extra increase.
Okay.
We ended up selling it at auction under the hammer for 1.86.
1.86. So we went from 1.38 to so $500,000 more roughly.
Correct.
Above what the opening number was, and about somewhere around 200,000 above what the sellers might have listed it at.
Yeah, and broke an area track record for the Woodbridge community.
Woodbridge is a nice area.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, that's we didn't talk about that ahead of time, but yeah, Woodbridge is a beautiful, beautiful area.
Yeah, it is. So we were very
it works. So it works on the modest price. It works on the higher end, and there's no reason that it wouldn't work anywhere in between.
It works on all price points.
That's amazing.
But it's not for every seller.
Why?
Some people just aren't open to the change or a different method. And that's totally cool. I'm okay with that. It's not about the process. It's about you being in acceptance with doing something different.
How long does this process take?
From what, the actual auction itself or the campaign?
The campaign.
The campaign is a 28-day program. So 4 weeks.
So let me ask you this. 28 days. So this seller actually trusted Simon or his team or whomever he was speaking to, the process, as you put it.
Mm-hmm.
And because he trusted the process, he went from offers in the 1.7 to 1.8 and ended up at 1.86. Now, even if the highest, we don't know what the number was. I mean, we can't divulge confidential information, right? So let's say hypothetically the highest offer was that 1.8. So they ended up getting $60,000 more by waiting somewhere between 1 and 28 days.
Big point on top of that.
Okay.
The offer before had a list of contingencies. On auction day, it's completely non-contingent.
Explain contingencies for those that are new to this.
Absolutely. So a contingency may be an inspection contingency, a finance contingency, an appraisal contingency, or a termite clearance.
Okay.
We waived all of those contingencies because we gave that information up front. So
the bidders knew what it was. So it's not like the bidders were buying something blind.
Correct.
And they knew if there was termites or if there wasn't termites.
And they're buying it as is.
Right. So no one mind. I don't think people mind buying as long as they know what is.
And that's what they should be giving. But in this current market, a lot of agents aren't providing that and expecting to have a non-contingent offer written.
Sure.
You don't expect that on someone if they don't understand or know what they're buying.
It's a good thought. I mean, we really, when you think about it, when you're out there, if you're talking to an agent that's listing your property and for some reason they don't want to use Simon's process, you got to ask about that. Are they going to have a home inspection done? Are they going to have the natural hazard disclosure report? Are they doing your disclosures, right? I mean, that part is easy. I mean, you do it, right? So that's a simple one.
But get out of the way. Do it early. Then you have to worry about it after.
But more important than that, Simon, is I don't know that an inexperienced listing agent is not even asking for it because they're inexperienced.
They don't know. And there's no guidance on that. So
the seller's generally going to pay for the termite. They're going to pay for the natural hazard disclosure. They're going to pay for
they're going to pay for the home inspection as well.
Yeah, sometimes. I think sometimes the buyer pays for the home inspection.
But normally what comes with that is a list of repairs or a credit request.
Right.
So we don't do that. And in turn, the seller will pay for that report.
Right.
So
But so the bottom line there is, and if you don't have a good home inspector, our friends John and Melissa Hammond, they do a great job all over Southern California. Give them a call. I've talked to them about doing a certified pre-owned home, just like when you go and buy a Mercedes, right? They've got a certified pre-owned car. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, I'm sure some of the other brands do too. I just thought of theirs because they advertise it so much.
We call it like the Carfax.
There you go.
The house fax.
Yeah. So you know exactly what you're buying. And ask your seller, your listing agent, hey, why can't we give this out so we don't have those contingencies?
Correct. And it just removes all the unknowns, which makes it so transparent, which gives a buyer confidence in their decision-making process.
Which to me, it sounds like that's the big difference than buying a property at the courthouse steps when
That's a risk.
you have no idea what you're buying.
And you got to be cash.
Right. You know you're at that point, you know the address.
Yeah, and you're probably driven around, you're trying to look through the boarded up windows. You don't know if there's a squatter inside or what damage is done. This is actually, we don't actually touch those types of properties. We only do everyday listings, and unique and luxury homes. So you know what you're buying.
But it sounds, now you tell me that all the time, Simon. It's luxury, non-distressed luxury properties. But I would submit that, a $300,000, $410,000 property in South Orange County, that's not really luxury.
Well, it is if you're from the Midwest.
No, in the Midwest,
no offense to the Midwest. No, so we do everyday traditional luxury unique homes. I've even sold a car space.
Okay.
Like via auction. We can do anything.
It's a good sound, and it's sold to the highest bidder out there that knows what they're doing and they know what they're getting. If you want more information on this whole process, if you want to explore this, Simon Polito is the man. We've got his information if you haven't seen it. I think I've got it scrolling on the bottom of the screen. If not, it will be right now. But we have a mobile app that has Simon's name on it even, so you can go to simonsfavouritelender.com and you get the mobile app. It's got all of Simon's contact information right there along the bottom. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against.